Find the domain of a function algebraically involves two main steps, and that's step one to find out what you are not allowed to plug in that must be excluded from the domain. Once you find that and you take those numbers out, you're left with step two, which is all the values that you can plug into the function. So it involves knowing a little bit about the functions. We'll start with a linear function. You'll know a linear function because the degree of the x value would be a degree of 1 versus a quadratic, the degree of the x value is a 2. So back to linear, you'll know it because the degree is a degree of 1, but linear functions, there are no restrictions in terms of what you can or can't plug in. You can plug in a negative number, you can plug in a positive, so any number, there are no restrictions. The same is true for a quadratic. You can plug in a negative, positive, 0, any number, there are no restrictions. Now let's move on to square root function. There are some restrictions here with the square root function. You are never allowed to have a negative number under the radical, because if you do, you have what is called a non-real imaginary solution. So that is the only restriction. Other than that, you can plug any number into a square root function. You just cannot plug in a number that would be negative or would produce a negative. Moving on to the last one, rational functions. Rational functions is where you have a term on top and a term on bottom, and the only rule or restriction there is that you are never allowed to have a number under the bottom that is 0 or that would produce a 0. So you can plug in any number into a rational function. You just cannot plug in a number that will give you a 0 in the bottom.